storm clouds moving in. Whatever's gonna happen, it's about to be. I remember what the drunk donkey told me when he said, son, don't fear. Mike's where the page lies, it's about to be. Then he's gonna tell you about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you which way it's going, if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news that they try to hide. Just click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. There'll always be some haters, but they don't understand that Mike's got a friend and 100,000 more across the land. Well, if you want to know it first and you want to know it right and you want to have time to plan, Drunk Donkey Nation tells your friend Mike, he's your man. Then he's gonna tell you all about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you if it's gonna be a storm or if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news others try to hide. Click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Yeah, here at Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide.
All right, what's up, everybody? Good morning. What's happening? Time for a little bit of tropical chit-chat. And the one-man band production crew got it done, man. My streaming service today was offline. I use this company called Caster. And they do like major Fortune 500 companies, man, and they have awesome chat, man. So I was so lucky. They're like, I was the first one to let them know their gateway was down. I was a little bit of little worried. I didn't know what I was gonna do because we stream on 3 different platforms at once. But we're good. We're rocking and rolling. I see Shelly. I see a lot of folks down in the islands chiming in. St. Thomas, what's up? Stacy, Lisette, how you doing? What's up, Jim Parker? What's up, Tara from Carolina? I got yelled at because I didn't specify South Carolina, North Carolina yesterday. I just say the Carolinas because it kind of keeps the options open. It's like Florida Peninsula and Florida Panhandle are 2 different things. 2 different weather patterns in Florida. Peninsula and Panhandle. So... All right, we'll spend a few minutes drinking coffee, and we'll say hello to everybody, and then we'll get right into it. This is Hunter, by the way. He helps host the Daily Brew. I'm coming to you live. I live in Oldsmar, in case you're wondering. That's right outside of Tampa Bay, close to Clearwater. We talk about the tropics. Remember, nothing's official with my site. I'm just a amateur meteorologist that's out there for likes and hype. Always refer back to National Weather Service and National Hurricane Center for official information. We decided to dig a little deeper so we can look at the what ifs. Oh, the chat's working a little bit better. Yeah, like Shelly said, I only get to see a few chats. Once I get rolling out and talking, that's kind of hard to chit-chat. So we're going to chit-chat for a few minutes, and then we'll get right into it. Everybody says that you're yummy, buddy. If I just get this little guy to quit peeing in the house, man. You got to stop peeing in the house, buddy. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You looked right at me. You don't pee in the house. You pee outside. Oh, our Daily Brew is brought to you by our good friends at ABC Fine Wine and Spirits located in Florida. I cannot tell you how many people have saw that commercial. It's unbelievable. Every post, somebody says, last night I interrupted somebody's Star Trek marathon. So... they've done a lot for us here at Mike's Other Page, promotion-wise here in the state of Florida. So, man, what a better reason to go support them, right? They really love us. And, companies like Coastal Claims and Furman, they've been around a long time. And Tammy with OSR and lodging solutions. We got a lot of, companies. We're going to do some stuff with decks and docks. Everybody believes in what we do here, and it really means a lot to me. So appreciate that. We're like a one-man band, man. We're crowdfunded. So, all right, well, we're going to put him down. We're going to talk tropics. What's up, Samantha from Coastal VA? What's up, Mr. Eric? Are the Rays ever going to win again? I put my Rays shirt on, hoping it would bring him some luck today. Princess Fiona coming in hot, Marco says. What's up, Danielle Klein? How you doing? Miss you. Where's Arkansas now? Stephanie from Brevard. Whoop, whoop. Lee from the Cal National Forest. What's up, Mr. Johnny Cash, Richard Sanford? Just hype the mic, Jim. That's right, buddy. Oh, there is a link. I can find it for you. It's if you just go to YouTube and Google Mike's weather page, ABC, it'll pop right up. So, all right, we'll put them down. This is current satellite, by the way. This is infrared above my head. Up here, Hunter, look. Hunter, look. Way up there. And then the live satellite over here with the GOES 16 floater. So I had a lot of new links to the site. I'm going to show everybody. Good morning, Jonathan. All right, so everything in a nutshell. First off, this is a great imagery here. A lot of convection with Fiona. The center is here, and all the big convection is here, indicating a lot of wind shear. That's kind of been the story. So it's not perfectly stacked, For those new to the site, we don't have stacking yet. We have displacement, where it's kind of like over here. Your upper levels aren't aligned yet with your lower levels. And this is a great tool, Fisher-Price. Who would have thought I'd be reverting back to baby toys? But we definitely have... Oh, man, I just crashed my baby toys now. So we don't have stacking. You'll hear that a lot. You hear a lot of meteorologists talking about it, that there's a lot of shear. That means that the upper clouds are being blown away a little bit from the lower clouds, and that prevents it from becoming too organized too fast. But here's the latest. This is a cool little graphic. This kind of shows you what's up. Let's go to the track here. This is a pretty good one. I like this one. So there we are. All right. I'll just kind of leave that up right there for now. Let's go a little smaller. I guess we could go right there. So, all right. So, definitely going to be going west. It's 50 miles an hour. Remember, it wasn't even supposed to get up to 45, and they definitely, now it's 50. I believe here they're even showing it to be 65 knots. So the NHC has bumped up their intensity forecasts. Long range. Remember, these cones from the NHC go out 5 days, and the cone represents anywhere that the center of the storm can go. That it's not the actual effects of the storm; it's where the eye can go. So they're saying the eye could go here or here. So that's. The cone is a representation of where the eye could go. A lot of confusion with that sometimes. Timing of winds is a good thing here. Let's zoom in a little closer. We got a lot of people that watch us down in the islands. This graphic's awful. I'm going back to this one. This is most likely, and then we'll put out the wind speeds. This kind of makes it more colorful. So anyway, the Leeward Islands, Friday night, 8 p.m., you can start to see tropical storm force winds, Friday night. We can start seeing overnight into the Virgin Islands, Friday night into Saturday morning. Saturday morning for sure for the Virgin Islands. By then, Puerto Rico will start to feel tropical storm force winds later Saturday into Saturday night. And then Sunday morning, the wind should start reaching Hispaniola. So it's a good time frame there of what's cooking with the wind speed. So, Mirtha, I haven't got to play with my toys in a long time. We haven't hit the buzzer much. Shelly bought me this last year. Does anybody know where Fiona is going to go after 5 days? Bottom line. there's a lot of steering mechanisms in play down the road, and there's a lot of unknowns. So if we look at the latest spaghetti models here, the 12Zs just came out. I love it how this happens. Oh my goodness, it's so cool, man. The 12Z models from Tropical Tidbits get posted as soon as we go live. It's like the models are watching the Daily Brew, and they're like, let's put the new models out just so Mike can show them. So the name of my site is Spaghetti Models. There you go, Spaghetti Models. And I got the Louis cup today. So cheers to Louis, the original. Hope you're doing well. What's up, my buddy Yohel over there? What's cooking, man? Katie from Horizon West. Coffee's hot, Shelly says. Mine's, you know. Richard, I think it's on Paramount. So anyway, all right, so here's the latest. These are on tropicaltidbits.com, and you know, high confidence. Remember, little trick here, you see timestamps? 48, 48, 48, 72, 96, 120. These are timestamps. So there you go. You get an idea, you know, where it's going. A couple different schools of thinking here. Stronger the system goes north. But if you were just to be a betting person, if you were in Vegas and you're like, is this thing going to keep on going west or is it going to curve north? You kind of got to go with Spaghetti Models right now as far as the trends go. The trends are a curve once this thing starts reaching Hispaniola. That's all there is to it. That's what they're showing. So I'm going to get into the ensembles here in a second. But, you know, pretty high confidence right now that this thing's going to turn a little bit. For sure. Now, I just posted this. We're going to talk about the ensembles. You go to Weather Nerds, and Weather Nerds has some great ensembles, as does Tropical Tidbits. I just posted this one. Let's pull this up here. This is the latest ensemble map right here. These just came out, the 6Z and the 00Z. So, all right, so here's the ensemble map from the GFS and the ensemble map from the Euro. So, what does this say? Well, you know, ensembles, I think there's 31 GFS ensembles and there's 51 Euro ensembles. Or maybe it's 30 plus 1, 50 plus 1. I don't know. But there's a lot of Euro ensembles. There's more Euro ensembles than GFS. But what we saw earlier was the GFS had every ensemble going out to sea. And the 6Zs just came out. And we're starting to see a few of them inch a little farther west. The brighter the colors of the oranges, and if you're colorblind, I'm sorry. I didn't make the maps. Basically, all the spaghetti noodles to the right of the black. Well, you don't even know the black line. The thick line are stronger systems. Weaker systems are your blues and greens, and we got them going a little farther to the west. You know, and then the Euro here with some confusion. The black is the mean of all the ensembles. But there's still a few just to keep watching. You know, I'm not a hyper. I'm telling you, I'm just saying, you know, the big question in play in the short term is Hispaniola and the fact that our system is still kind of sheared. If it does not develop very fast and has a hard time over Hispaniola over, you know, the weekend, then it could remain weak, meaning, you know, more of a west track. It doesn't get picked up by these upper level winds. The stronger systems are more influenced by the upper level winds and would have an easier time to accelerate up out of here. A weaker system basically going to go west. So, you know, there are a few now. Again, I'm not, I don't like to keep going back to those. I wish it was just cut and dry, but it's not. Here's the latest Southwest Florida Water Management. Now, I like this site too because it shows you the Euro, which is an orange with the triangle. The lighter pink colors are your Euro ensembles, and then your gray ones are your GFS ensembles. So kind of like puts the ensembles on top of your actual operational runs. But there you go. So as far as the structure of our storm goes, there's a really good site up here called Cyclonic Weather. I have it right here. I like this one right here. We're going to look at that. This is a cool site. The old school red, green, and blue satellite imagery is great. So we can go down here to Fiona, and we can look at visible products, and we can look at red, green, blue, and we can let it load. And I'll just leave it right here for a minute as we suck down some coffee. Pandora's box? You mean Abear's box? Maybe you mean Pandora's box. I don't know. You've never been on a cruise. Oh my God, look at Reed Timmer. What's up, Mr. Reed Timmer? The one and only, the Mr. Famous Reed Timmer. That's awesome, man. We'd love to see you on the cruise, man. We can bring some Flex Seal in case the boat sinks. We don't want that to happen. I don't know if there's enough tape in the world if we hit an iceberg, but where we're going, there's no icebergs. Well, that's pretty cool. Well, it's good to see you, Reed, Mr. Reed Timmer. He's the man, the original storm chaser. Love watching him. Hey, Mr. Jason Sutton, what's up, man? There's our Furman dude. Furman had that awesome 50% off sale during the weekend, and my favorite little bad boy, the red, white, and blue generator, I shared a few times, $299.99. So Jason's going on our cruise. Reed Timmer, Jason's one of the big dogs at Furman Generators. So we'll have generator power, and we'll have plenty of flex tape if we have any type of problems on the cruise ship. Let's hope not. And plus, you know who else is going on our cruise is James Van Fleet. He is the chief met at Royal Caribbean. He's an old Tampa local, and now he is. I think Royal Caribbean is the only cruise line that has their own chief meteorologist, and he does an amazing job rerouting ships, missing those big waves, going around storms, and Royal Caribbean loves him. And he is so cool. He even got a Redneck Storm Chaser shirt. But yeah, Jason, I hope your foot's doing better, man. All right, so look at this logo. This is some awesome satellite imagery here. This is from Cyclonic Weather. I think the guy's name is Alex. Yeah, it is Alex. Okay. So what's cool about this map, this is the red, green, blue, old school map. It's hard to find this still, but the yellow that you see here is the lower level circulation. And it shows up so good on this map. This is your center basically right there. And let me stop it right there. All right. So so when they're talking about a sheared system, you can see very well rotation here coming in around. Our low level circulation is very, very defined. That's where the center is. The convection is off to the east, and that's 100% because of wind shear. And when you don't have that stacking that we talked about, when you don't have stacking, when the 500 millibar isn't lined up with the 850 and it's offset, you don't get the perfect storm scenario. And this thing is going to have a hard time getting too organized too fast. But once you get light wind shear, you start to get the ability for these systems to really get stacked, and that opportunity is going to be there, in my opinion, in a few days. So, hey, James, what's up, buddy, Mr. Softball? I got some highlights, James. I can show you. So, pointless comment. Pointless. This is what's funny about YouTube. Pointless comment. It's actually a person, but she had a nice thing to say that their emergency management in the Gulf Coast. Awesome. All right, so anyway, so short term, the storm has a lot of shear to deal with, and there's some really cool old school maps that I use from Wisconsin here. This is really hard to see, man. I mean, this is like, you got to blink twice, you know. Don't look at it late at night after a few drinkies. Here's our system though, right here, and it's basically moving off, and it's got a pocket of shear it's going to have to deal with. There's some strong winds rolling in, and these peach lines show the winds coming up out of the. This is your upper level winds, and basically 30 knots. It isn't terribly impossible to still maintain or even intensify. It's got a patch here of shear that's going to have to go through. Now again, you got to like blink. It's like, what the heck, man? But anyway, here's our system, and the yellows indicate shear, and it's gonna have shear for like 2 days. Then all bets are off. Once our system gets past that shear, I'm telling you, just like we saw with Dorian, things can happen fast. And I've shared it before. The original NHC cone for Dorian, the 5-day cone only had it as a tropical storm reaching Florida. And those 5 days, it went to 185 miles an hour. So anything can happen in this area. And the reason I'm saying that, man, the waters are smoking hot. This ocean heat content, you can never discount this at all. This is how hot the water goes below the surface. We're not even entered any of this stuff yet. Once it clears the islands, gets into any of this area, things can happen fast. And we're also in an MJO phase, which is not really being discussed much, but we're definitely not in a suppressed phase. We're in this enhanced phase of the MJO, which enables this thunderstorm activity. So Fiona definitely wasn't expected to do anything. At one time, they stopped talking about it because we had so much dry air in the Atlantic, and it's kind of defied everybody's predictions. So the next week, we have favorable MJO, hot water. Just two of the big pieces of the puzzle. Not a lot of dry air. Once it clears and look at this little guy. I'm telling you, man, every day we look at the Bay of Campeche here, this old lingering front is still producing. I'm telling everybody, these are the sneaky ones, man, that all of a sudden might be like, where'd that come from? So I'll say it again. It's Groundhog Day. Don't take your eyes off of the Bay of Campeche. All right, so back to so the red, green, blue is awesome. Let's put it in motion, and then we'll show you some other fun stuff. So this is classic example of a sheared system. The lower level is outracing the mid-level, and the convection, the winds aren't strong enough. I don't think that it's going to actually dissipate our system. So they'll be hanging on. It's kind of like you're holding up a kite, and the kite's blowing this way. So the center of our circulation is like hanging on with a lasso, the mid-level, and it's not going anywhere. As a matter of fact, I mean, it's always defied logic. It's constantly refiring. This is Weather Nerds, some good high resolution satellite. Just always firing high cloud tops, and it's hanging on. And what happened overnight, we had a lot of people from the islands chime in. There's been this little wave of energy ahead of this that's actually helped clear the. It was really evident yesterday. But what's kind of happened here is that it's kind of like NASCAR, man. Now we got teammates, right? Fiona's got a drafting partner. Fiona's in the back here, but this little juice box is helped clear the dry air out ahead. So now it really comes down to some temporary shear, and then Fiona, I believe, will have a chance to intensify. Like I said yesterday, never go against the NHC, but the conditions look like this thing could definitely be a little quicker than, well, originally they said 45, now it's 65. So, but this has been interesting. And if you look at the dust map here, and then we're going to look at some individual paths here, I promise. But I love the dust map. This has been really cool to watch. Let's stop it. I don't know. Let's stop it here. This is yesterday. So the history of Fiona, I know it might be like a broken record, but it's still amazing to me. This is around the 10th. And Fiona was barely, well, it wasn't Fiona then, but it was barely anything right here. And it came off of Africa, and it was void of any convection. And there was dusty, dry air to the north. There was dusty, dry air out ahead of it. didn't look like there was any chance that this was going to do anything. And all of a sudden, we started getting some convection out of nowhere. And here's the early stages of TD7. Little piece kind of broke off, and look what happened yesterday. We started getting some of that out front. And all that kind of did was soak up some of that dry air a little bit, and that's where we're at. So, interesting. There's where we're at. So, let's create a little moisture bubble around it. And there you go. So, let's look at all the models. So, let's start out with the worst case scenario, because that'll get me the most amount of likes. Good morning, David Bruins. I'm going to say some hey's real quick. I hate to bug everybody. What's up, Bobby, Blobby? Bobby does a great job analyzing history. She's more of a history buff than I am. She knows more. Courtney Michelle, what's up? Is that my softball, Courtney Michelle? I don't know. No, that's funny. Courtney Michelle. There's another one that I know that coaches Emily softball. Let's see, Kathy. So first off, all right, if you're worried about the United States, meaning continental United States, I've done so much better over the years talking about Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, the Leeward Islands, Cayman Islands, Jamaica. But when I mention the U.S., I get occasionally somebody, don't forget about us at PRVI. And I'm like, nah. So then I put Cone U.S. and everybody in the continental U.S. is like, what does Cone U.S. mean? Then they're like, oh, you're getting too professional. I'm like, well, if I don't put Cone U.S. So anyway, but if you're coming in worried about continental U.S., the chances are very low right now. Okay, a majority of models have this thing turning. What we're going to want to see are trends. Okay, and we haven't talked about trends in a long time, but trends are your friends. And 06Z, even though the GFS operational model has been very unreliable, the 6Z, which I can't see it there, but I might be. Well, anyway, the 6Z GFS had no ensembles going west. The 00Z, the 6Z now does. So that's a trend. The Euro yesterday had almost none going. Yesterday, almost every single model of the GF or the Euro was doing that. Now we see some wiggling back, and that's building high pressure. This thing slows down. There could be another high pressure coming in, rolling in, which is all being influenced, believe it or not, by the Pacific. There's a I don't even know what the heck. The Pacific storm could influence the jet, which could influence the United States come next week. So the Euro is starting to pick up on a possible high pressure coming in, and you're starting to see a little bit of blocking, which is showing up on the GFS too. So all bets are off. You can't really, and all y'all in history, remember, like, everything, whatever it shows now, usually it doesn't mean that it's going to happen. So like yesterday, everything had it going out. Well, history would tell you that's probably not going to happen because things are going to change. Well, the change that we're seeing is this little bit of steering pattern in a weaker system, possibly sticking our system around. And the only reason that's concerning to me is 3 days out. Remember, we talk about this all the time. 9 storms have hit the continental U.S. that have been 150 miles an hour or more in history, that are recorded history. 8 of those were tropical storms 3 days out. So it doesn't have to be anything too strong below Cuba, above Cuba. That's, when you see these lighter color lines, which indicate a weaker system, you still don't turn your back on it, because this area right here, things can happen fast. All you got to do is look at Andrew. And what's kind of got my attention a little bit, some of these, like I said, are turning a little bit more. So, we'll see what happens in the afternoon models. It's interesting. If we woke up again today and every single Euro was back out doing that, then I'd be like, we got some really big confidence. But they didn't. Yesterday's 12Z came back, and now we even got more of that way. So all bets are off as far as, and look at the intensity models. They really came up. These are brand new. Look at that. Now that's something new. See, I was watching Eric Burris this morning. He was showing the 6Z intensity models, and the 12Zs just came out. And look, that's a lot more. And this is only day 5 right here. That's day 5 right here. So now we're seeing a lot more showing a higher intensity. And again, not knocking the NHC, but yesterday they showed 45 all the way through the 5-day cycle. Now we're starting to see, and it's true. It could have been, it's what happens on day 6, 7. But that's what I'm saying. You see that and you're like, oh, it's not going to be anything. But it's what happens past that. And once we get into the Caribbean or the Western Atlantic, this is where we saw Dorian and others kind of ramp up. So, short term, obviously we got to worry about everybody down in Puerto Rico and Virgin Islands and the Leeward Islands, and they're going to probably come out with new watches and warnings at 11 o'clock. So at 11 o'clock we get a brand new advisory out, and we'll likely have maybe some more watches and warnings. And they're already talking about it. If you read the key messages from the NHC, they're already talking about it. Rainfall, flash, urban flooding, all that stuff you're used to down there. Heavy rains, regardless of winds. The flooding doesn't. The rains don't change on a system that's a category 3, 4 versus a tropical storm or hurricane. The rain totals might even be more in a tropical storm because they're more sloppy, slower mover. So rains, regardless of intensity, are still a huge threat because it doesn't matter what the wind speeds are. And so we're going to look at all the models. The one model I want to show you, we talked about the worst case scenario. I've really got my eye on the HWRF. I've always loved the HWRF as far as intensity goes. It did Sally good a couple years ago. It did a lot of our little surprise storms. The HWRF did really good on intensity. Oh, man, like I said, I don't mean to miss all my chat buddies, but usually... Hey, Dale, Ian, listen, correct. Dale asked a great question. Did I say the 9 storms recorded? Yes. And I got a graphic I'll show you later. Don't let me forget if you're still around, Dale, because that is the most amazing stat to me. Originally, the stat was 4 Category 5 hurricanes have hit the continental U.S., 4. And all 4 of those, were only tropical storms 3 days out. 3 days. So this year, the National Hurricane Center put together a new graphic that showed all the storms that were 150 and more, which includes Ida from last year. So that was still a 4, high end. But out of 9 150 mile an hour plus storms to hit the United States, continental United States, 8 of those were tropical storm 3 days out. So good morning, Nancy Gonzalez. What's happening? Telford. Kelly, Julie, it rained forever with Sally. Yep. In Florida, listen, we had some serious flooding yesterday in Florida. More today. We got that lingering linguini front. We call it, so all y'all that think my spell checker is messing up when I meant to type lingering, it's not an accident. I changed the name on our page from lingering to linguini because it sounds funny. And it's the first 4 letters of lingering, L-I-N-G. So when I write linguini front, that means lingering front. Oh, man. Yohel, what are you doing, buddy? Elizabeth over there. Rick Hodge brought up a theory. The theories are out there rampant now while the season is slow. One of the theories is the volcano eruption that we had earlier. Was it? I don't know if it was late last year, early this year, but lots of discussion now that maybe some of that ash has affected the dry air. The biggest story is the amount of dry air that has been in the Atlantic this season. And the other side of it is the lingering fronts that we've had. And the Bermuda High has kind of been shoved off a little bit to the northeast. And I read a really good article that could be true, that the position of the Bermuda High being higher, raise those winds a little higher up that come across Africa, and maybe brought a lot more dry air across the Atlantic. So there's all of those theories going on. I mean, these guys have to figure it out. Jeffrey Taylor. A lot of swells are coming regardless, buddy Johnson. Yes, there's going to be some big waves brewing later next week into the weekend. So, a lot of questions about Florida. Listen, absolutely no idea. Vicky, good morning, peeps. Why would they hide your message, peeps? That makes no sense. Some of the words, man. All right, so the HWRF has been the good model over the years. And this, if we got anybody watching in the islands, just kind of pay attention to a last-minute intensification. It's been bouncing around the idea that we could see something. This is the islands here, and there's Puerto Rico. This is a 995 millibar. Not too awfully bad, but once you get past 69 hours here, it starts to develop it. And, there's the Virgin Islands, there's Puerto Rico, there's 62 knots, so we're borderline hurricane. This is the HWRF. This is Sunday morning, which means the winds would start going downhill Saturday. So just keep that in the back of your mind. The HWRF has been pretty aggressive on this thing, strengthening, pulling north of Puerto Rico there. But the HWRF is not a bad model, man. I'm really curious. Last night's 00Z, for some reason, didn't load up. What's up with that? Where'd you go? Well, they were all up there earlier. What the heck? I shared them earlier. Are they off the server now? No, they're 00Z. They're 00Z. Oh, they're just not up for Fiona. Oh, my goodness. That stinks. Well, anyway, there's been some stronger ones, bottom line. Maybe it's a good thing they aren't. Maybe that's the weather gods telling me I shouldn't share it. It's the HWRF has had even stronger, so just remember that. That's weird. They were all up there earlier. Well, I can go back to Levi's site. He's got HWRF too. So we're going to go tropical tidbits here, and we'll look at the HWRF Fiona. And let's look at the 00Z. And you can see here, oh God. So last night's overnight run had a 950 millibar system. This is late Saturday night into Sunday morning. That's strong. Does pull it north, but it's just showing you, what it's showing you is that once it clears that wind shear and it starts nearing the Leeward Lesser Antilles, the conditions there could really help this thing, intensify. So that's what's got me curiosity pegged. Last night's 18Z was a lot weaker, but it did over the islands. But look, 990, 980, nearing Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands. So that was last night's 18Z. So again, that's just kind of, the HWRF, just keep it back in your mind, Just never know. But I'm telling you, could be expecting the unexpected this weekend. So if it was me, I would be preparing for a sneaky little hurricane. If you're batting down the hatches or making that decision. And there's a couple other models. I'm going to show you why here. Now let's go back to tropical tidbits. And listen, the good news is, so far, the good news is this model right here. That wave coming off Africa is not indicated by the NHC yet. Some of the, we've been talking about another wave following Fiona. It's been off and on. So hopefully we're not going to see anything follow Fiona. Just putting that out there. And Shelly, I'm getting up to my 40 windows open. Alrighty. So, all right. So here we go. See you tomorrow, yo. What's up, man? Cruise is how many days away, man? Jason Sutton still in here? Big Jason. Getting those generators fueled up, man. I hope they got them ready down in Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. But what the HWRF is showing me is the common sense here that once this thing leaves that wind shear, that it's going to be entering those super duper warm waters. All right, so here we go. We're going to look at all the models. This is tropical tidbits. So the big question is this. All right, so this thing develops strong. It could possibly get pulled up, move fast. Faster moving system pulls up, moves fast, rides this high pressure system, and gets on out of here. Slower system takes longer to develop and crosses Hispaniola. Then it could get kind of tore up. It just kind of slowly trekking with a new high pressure building in and keeping this at west-northwest movement. So definitely going to be a race on intensity and a race on forward speed if this thing decides to recurve north or not. But in the short term, it doesn't look like there's any way out of it. This thing is going towards Hispaniola and everybody in its path this weekend. So it's going to be a lot of rain regardless. In fact, I know I said I'd show models, but I do want to look at one thing. We got to look at rain. I want to look at rainfall totals. We haven't really done that yet. Let's start to see what some of the rainfall totals are showing for the islands. So we'll go to the Euro. I don't know if we can do Central America. Caribbean. I'm trying to zoom in. Haiti. Oh, is this might show some of the islands. I think it's going to miss. But there's our rain. Well, it's kind of missing the Virgin Islands a little bit, but you get the idea. High resolution, this only goes out 6, that's 00Z. 6Z goes way, oh my goodness gracious. So there's your rainfall. This is mainly through the latter part of the weekend for Hispaniola. But man, look at that purple, holy moly. Now this is in millimeter. What? I went to college. 600 millimeters. What the heck is millimeters? That's a lot of rain, man. Purple's a lot of rain. That's 12 inches plus. So that's no laughing matter, honestly. That's some serious rainfall going over the mountains. Some of this is going to reach into Puerto Rico. Could be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 inches of rain here for Puerto Rico to watch. The GFS, very similar. Actually, gotta see the GFS is a little bit more towards the Virgin Islands. I'm going to find some better maps, but the GFS is showing the big rains going towards the Virgin Islands and basically pulling a little bit more north. But like every run's going to be different because they don't know where this thing's going yet. I would prepare for a foot of rain possibly in the mountains. That's a lot. All right, so here's the models. Tropical tidbits. So here's the latest. We're just going to look at all the operational runs and kind of see if there's any patterns. We're going to look at upper level winds and kind of get a sense of that high pressure expected to come in that might deflect this thing more back west. Hey man, I got some people over on YouTube. Look at that. El Garage Del Pib Pipe. How did I say that, man? 11 inches and 600 millimeter. Look at that. Now wait a minute. Now we got Gary Rodriguez saying 600 millimeters, 23 inches. So now we got conflicting inches. Is that like 6 inches? That's all I got to say about that. We rented our cabana for Coco Cay. I heard we're going to have we got Shelly and Jason's. We're next door to each other, so we're going to throw things at each other. 23 inches, okay. That's a lot of rain. Food fight. That's what she said. Hey, we're still streaming. I can't believe it. 2 feet of rain. Yeah, I'm going to find some real rain maps. But listen, that's a lot of rain. So that's serious flooding. Like I said, it doesn't matter the intensity of the storm. They're going to get the flooding because they're going to have a direct hit from our system. And they already got some ahead of it right now. So things are already going to be kind of juiced up from that little system that came out in front of it. All right, so here's the latest GFS. 1,003 millibar. This is Friday night, Saturday morning. Now, see, the latest GFS, this is what I wanted to show you, really started intensifying our system. Still clipping the islands there, getting close to Puerto Rico. But the latest one, 981, 976, and it does kind of wiggle it and keep it out over the water. Good news, right? Once it passes. But it does intensify it into a major cane, 951. Last night, 00Z on the GFS, 998 on approach again. So it's been consistent. We could see a possible hurricane maybe reaching the islands this weekend. And it pulls it north, close to Bermuda as a major hurricane. That was the 00Z. All right, let's look at the Canadian. Canadian taking some time to develop. Weak system over Puerto Rico. Weak system over Hispaniola. Keeps it kind of slow. There's that high pressure coming in. This is the big question mark on everybody's mind, is if that high pressure slides in a tick quicker and our system's a tick slower, then this high pressure could block and potentially, get this into the Gulf. Ain't nobody got time for that. But the Canadian, a lot of folks discredit it. I think it's not as bad as it used to be, and it's been very consistent with this high pressure building ahead. And that's listening to a lot of people talking now. There is a window. I mean, the Euro shows this gap going out to sea because of this gap, but a weaker system might not feel that gap, and that high pressure could build in around it, preventing an Atlantic escape. That's why the CMC is doing what it's doing. Keeps high pressure in place, shoving our system down, keeping it weak over the mountains. And therefore, actually, that one might be a little better for seeing the color. So weaker system over the mountains, Cuba, and doesn't have a chance to escape. Go to the Euro. The Euro is showing this. Kind of a weak system, over the islands. 1,005 gets it down below Puerto Rico a little bit, 1,002. Now, the reason that the Euro is showing feet of rain possibly is it's showing the system a tick south of the island, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, Hispaniola, allowing more of those bands to affect and come over the islands. That's why the Euro's showing a lot of rain, is because it's keeping the system a tick lower than everybody else, allowing more rains to pump in counterclockwise into our islands. All right, so the Euro 1,000 millibar, that could be on approach, get a little stronger. Crosses the mountains, weakens it, 1,000 millibar, 1,007 bar, 1,005. There's our weakness coming. And, pretty confident, right? Pretty confident on turn. So, again, but we have a lot of people down in the Bahamas, and we talked about that yesterday. A lot of the cruises go down there, the Turks, Caicos. So they're watching close. Timing here would be on the Euro. This would be Wednesday of next week. Slowed down a little bit. Remember yesterday it was supposed to be about here. Now it's slowed down a day. Now it's the 22nd. This is Thursday right there. This is Wednesday, actually, next week. A week from right now. 1,000 millibar. Starting to develop. Euro, the same exact timestamp. This is the GFS. Same timestamp for the Canadian over here. So you got Euro, GFS, CMC. So it all determines what happens here. Stronger system gets out of here. Weaker system, slower. All right, the Icon, another good model for intensity wise. It's showing potential hurricane nearing Puerto Rico this weekend. 996, 994, 990, 992, 988. So again, that's category 1-ish, but enough that it's something to watch. And it seems like the trend that we're seeing is anything past here has a window to develop once it clears that shear and gets into this warmer water. And we got a lot of people watching in Puerto Rico, so you're gonna have a lot of rain and potential for some hurricane force winds. As far as the states go, man, it's just still too far. Now, like I said, the only thing that's intriguing to me is that we've been seeing a shift a little bit on the ensembles, showing a little bit more west movement. And, and there's some strong ones. I will admit. I mean, this is interesting. So, don't take your eyes off it. Florida, Bahamas, East Coast, Gulf. I just covered everybody. Texas to Maine. But no, seriously. I mean, this is a great tool that Levi has on his site. These are all your individual members, and you can see some of them are doing that, and we're starting to see some do that, and we're seeing some weaker ones do that. And there are some taking it into Florida. And there's some going to the East Coast, and there's some doing what the CMC's doing and heading into the Gulf. So it's not 100% yet. Now, yesterday's model run, was it last night? I can't remember. OZ. Was it last night, OZ? No, I think it was yesterday's 12Z or something. I don't know. They all start blending in. They start blending in after a while. But that's interesting. Another model tool we can use here, we can take a look at weathermodels.com. Why is my Facebook trying to load? That's all messed up. All right. Weather models. I can look at Spaghettios. I like looking at these things. These are kind of neat. The Spaghettios are nice because they taste good with extra hot sauce. How many of y'all put hot sauce on everything? So Julie takes offense to the fact that when she makes any meal that I instantly open up the fridge and whatever condiment that's there, I have to have it. Spicy mayonnaise, wasabi, sriracha hot sauce, whatever, lemon pepper. I love flavor. She gets all mad at me. And I remember as a kid when I had Spaghettios, I would put hot sauce in Spaghettios. I liked it. I love hot sauce. My favorite pizza is pepperoni, jalapeno, and bacon. Try it. 3 things right there. Yummy. All right, so let's see Spaghettios. I want to get close here. I don't know what I can do here. There's really not an easy graphic to look at. I guess we can do this one. All right, so these are going to be your Spaghettios, and these are all your members. And you can see some of them are starting to track a little bit more. So just putting it out there as a possibility. I'm not going to talk about it much longer than that. It's just, again, we watch for flip-flopping. We watch for trends. We watch for any sort of, changes in modeling. And I guess the only thing we're seeing is that the Euro slowed down our system now enough that this is the following weekend. This is Friday of next week. That's 8 days from now.
I didn't understand that.
Now I got my Android talking to me. Jalapeno and ketchup. Jason's bringing super soakers. What's up with that? That's right, Jason. Good point. Listen, we got a lot of people down in Puerto Rico. You can pick up your Furman generators at Costco and Rent-A-Center stores. Highly recommend. It might be a good time right now with a potential tropical storm warnings coming at 11 o'clock. Probably watches right now because of the timing. I think they only issue warnings 48 hours out or 36 hours out. So we're still, Puerto Rico Saturday night to Sunday, you're going to start feeling it. And listen, that's a lot of rain, man. You get a foot plus of rain. South Linda, bacon is the word. Hey, duck meat for dinner and more. We had the generator giveaway, man. We had like thousands of people, man. I forget the lady's name, but she was so excited. It was fun. All right, so here we go. I'm curious. I'll leave it at that. Like I said, trends usually tell you a lot, and we still have enough ensembles that are still not 100% sold on a recurve yet. So, but before ensembles came around, all we ever did was pay attention to the main spaghetti models. So if you want to go with what the main spaghetti models are showing, there you go. A general curve to the north. But anything can happen. So I added some new links for the Storm. Some cool stuff. Let me show you. Everything on Fiona is right here in this column. I have obviously Fiona's Ensembles page. You can look at that. I have the Storm Products page, which is really cool to look at. This is the one I showed yesterday, but you can do all kinds of stuff on it. Just phenomenal. You can look at water temperatures, even lightning, your shear maps, your convergence maps, your divergence maps, vorticity maps, dry air. I mean, this is so awesome. And you can zoom in 2km. That's your zoom levels, 2km. I mean, so it's called Storm Products. I got a link to it. You can really be your own little weather person. You can be your own redneck storm chaser. Water vapor is a good one. I like the shear. So we do water vapor and shear. Kind of gives you a hint what's going on. White lines are your upper level winds. But that's a good site. Another one I got here is the wind analysis now. This is always kind of neat. This is a satellite driven, I believe. But, we're definitely getting more winds. Yesterday we only had a handful of yellow. Now we're getting some red barbs. I'm not sure we got a key for that, but that's kind of neat. This shows you current winds of our system. I also added follow Fiona. Oh, then I added NOAA Fiona floaters, not the floaters you see in a portalet. I didn't just say that. I thought it, but I didn't say it. Did I say it? Do you ever think of something and you're like, did I actually just say that? But the floater page is good. There's all kinds of resolution that you can zoom. And I tell you what, the coolest one is definitely the red, green, blue loops. Go to True Color, and you can animate, GIF it, and everything else. But we can animate, GIF it. It's beautiful. It's like corn. It's a beautiful thing. It has the juice. Oh, man. So, anyway, there's your current little system here. But, man, it's got some wind shear out of it. It's hanging on 50 miles an hour. It looks healthy, but that lower level circulation is trying to outrun the mid-level. There's been storms in the past that just went poof, and if it loses that string, the kite, it's kind of like one of them parasellers that you see out at Clearwater Beach. You got the big boat pulling the parasail, and that's kind of what we got. The lower level is the boat, and the parasail is the mid levels. And if they happen to lose that string, guess what? The parasail goes bye-bye, and we have a naked swirl. So over the years, if you've heard the term naked swirl, that's because the lower level completely outraced the upper level. And, you know, I don't think it's going to happen. And this is why I don't think it's going to happen. Because the seed, I always talk about the seed, the spin. This has got a very tight little circulation. And usually, when you have very well-defined lower level circulation, very defined, 1,000 millibar, look at that sucker spinning. It's kind of hard sometimes to lose it completely. Harvey was a good example of a system that degenerated and came back. I've seen a lot of systems completely lose their convection and come back. So when they have a tight circulation, and you can click on it here, you kind of see what I'm talking about. So the 500 level is really messed up. Here's 500 level. You go to 850 and there you go. So the mid levels are definitely not aligned. When all three of these align, then you have a chance for a storm to really get going. But that's because of that wind shear coming in for the next 2 days. So, you know, there's other things on this Null School site I don't know if you know about, but you can click on here and hit relative humidity. It's really cool. You can do your CAPE. What's the one I like? Wind power density. That's a new one. Relative humidity is a good one. This kind of tells you how the atmosphere is around it. You know, the tropical systems need moist mid-level atmosphere. This one's got plenty. And it's pulling in here from the monsoon trough, getting some extra juice. So you can kind of see this. It's kind of neat. This is your moisture trail. Remember we saw yesterday? I don't even know if it's still out there. Did anybody see that? See, it's burned up. Remember? Well, there it is right here. It's gone. So we had this little tag along that was looking interesting, and it's fizzled out. It never had tropical characteristics. Here's that wave that I don't even want to go into it yet because it's not even marked. We're only going to focus on Fiona right now. But anyway, that's kind of neat looking at that. Your moisture is still tied up with that little system below, and some of that's kind of getting pulled up into the system. You kind of follow the moisture trail, and it kind of gets wrapped up around here. So getting a little moisture fed from that monsoon trough, which they have it right here. So there's our system. There's our ITCZ line, and some of that moisture is actually getting pulled up into Fiona. All right, so that's that. It's been an hour. I can speculate any more on that. We'll call it a day because that's what we do. All right, so Trash Barrel Marcia says, Tropical Storm, not sure, Kathleen Smith. What? Oh, I remember that, Kathleen. I don't remember the name of it, but that typically a sheared system in the Gulf will all the rains will end up in the Panhandle. Was that Marco? Remember we had Marco Polo or something like that? I remember there was a storm that was completely void of convection, but all the moisture got pushed up into the Panhandle. Jason Quimby, what's up, buddy? Here's our Mr. Coastal Claims right there. I got a friend of mine I need to have contact you, by the way. His name's Doug. Remember that name, Doug. I'm going to make sure he calls you guys. Had a water line break below his bedroom. There you go. Cool. Any more questions? The next wave is not really showing up, so it's off again, on again. It's not even solid yet. So anyway, there you go. Let's go Rays. We need a win. That's right, Dale. All right, a couple things here. People asked me, I had an email. In fact, I got to write her back. I think her name's Jen. People asked about, we have a little room called the Brew Crew. So when you subscribe and support our page, you get invited to a Brew Crew page that it's just private little area. I chat in there a lot of weather fans, a little more intimate, just weather related. So if you hear us talking about the Brew Crew, it's because our subscribers have a little special room, and I give a lot of perks away. Stickers, Christmas cards, shirts, koozies, and even Cat 5. So there's a page on that. You can check it out. People ask me all the time. So there you go. We are going to have a Brew Crew party the day before our cruise in March on Sunday. So, you know, if you're going on the cruise or a Brew Crew member, we're going to be sending out invites to go to this private little VIP party, and we're going to have some food and some music, and it's going to be a good time Sunday. So you got to, you know, we always try to give back a little bit. Then, of course, the cruise, you know, I really hope that it gets out there. We have a lot of people who don't even know that we have it. Every time we mention it. But we have 100 cabins locked in, and the rates have went nuts because of the once they lifted the vaccine, no restrictions now. High demand, and we got 100 cabins. So that's going to be a great time. It's spring break for most kids here in Florida, and you can read about everything we're going to do. Ton of activities for the week. Families are 100% invited. Late night shenanigans when they go to bed. So check it out. There's a sign up button here, how you can get it, and our lady Kim Shipley will come out and reach out to you, and she's really nice, real professional. Everybody's had a wonderful experience booking with her, and I'm stoked. We did it last year, had no idea what to expect. It was the most fun I've had in so long. You end up meeting people that have similar interests, weather, maybe drinking, good families, and it's awesome, man. We you know, this year is different. We're doing a hurricane preparedness seminar on the ship. Royal Caribbean has a ballroom, and we're going to be on the sea. We're going to be doing a real presentation. You're going to get a certificate. So if you're in the industry, you could probably write it off 100% because it's going to be a certificate that you get for training, teachers included, weather preparedness, hurricane preparedness. It's a really good presentation I do. I'm excited. We're going to do that. So it'll be fun. We're going to do a private cocktail party on the ship, free happy hour for an hour. First day. Oh, man. Anyway, happy hour. Every day's happy hour. All right. So here's the scoop. I've been doing these little quickie afternoon videos on YouTube. You can check them out. I'm also do these little 1-minute videos on TikTok and Instagram. Of course, we're streaming live on Twitter right now. So the afternoon update. So the deal on YouTube is this. It gets posted about 5:30 to 6 because I usually wait until the NHC. The NHC has a new update at 5 p.m. So there's no point in me doing one until then because I want to see what the new 5 p.m. cone looks like. And then another cool thing about doing it then is we've had all the afternoon models run. We have the ensembles. The ensembles take an hour or so after the main run. So the ensembles are usually done around 3-4 o'clock. So usually all the day's data I can digest and put it into a 5-minute video that turns into 8. I haven't been over 10 yet. So that's good. All right, let's talk about weather today real quick. We got a flooding chance. Man, I got a record number of windows open. Let's see. How can I do this? How can I close them all? Let's see. Let's just start. Ready? Let's see. Let's count. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28 windows were open. And we did not crash Chrome. Victory. I should open up a cold one. Ready? Listen. Wasn't what you thinking. But weather today. So we got one thing I want to show you, Floridians. We got this lingering front and we got high rain chances the next 3 days. Remember, yesterday we had a lot of flooding rains that were the storyline in Florida. Here's a look at one of the graphics I put together this morning that shows basically the green here is today, which is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So the peninsula, the next 3 days, heavy rain, lingering front. The only place it's going to get rain the next through the weekend, this is your rains through Monday morning. Rains through Monday morning. Nothing for anybody but the Florida Peninsula. It's incredible. And that's all because of this. You go to this little button I have down here called Animate Day 1 through 7. And you can zoom in a little bit and we'll see it. This is basically why. We got a frontal line stuck over Florida. This is Friday, tomorrow, frontal line. Saturday, frontal line. Sunday, frontal line. Monday, frontal line. Tuesday, frontal line. Wednesday, frontal line. And this is a time frame that we're going to start to see the tropics be interested in. If we get another frontal line that comes down and pushes, that really increases the likelihood of our system. But the other side of that is this. If our system's weak and our frontal line flattens out, which they tend to do this time of year, when a frontal line flattens out, it could allow our system to continue on that west-northwest track if this gets here before that. So like I said, it's a race of how strong Fiona gets, how weak it goes, and how slow it goes, whether or not our next frontal line high pressure builds in, shoving that chance a little bit more to the west. So there you go. All right, cool. Awesome. We did it. We did it. You can do it for us. All right, so we'll be back live tomorrow for the Daily Brew on Friday. We have softball this weekend. That's what I was going to figure. So the weekend schedule, we'll definitely do them over the weekend. I just don't know yet. So we'll announce that. Especially if you're Cat 5, we send out text alerts to let you know. But we'll be live tomorrow, Friday for sure. Maybe tonight. We did one last night, didn't we? We did one last night, right? So maybe we'll do another one tonight. It would be probably the same time, 8 o'clock. It's a good time. So possibly one tonight at 8 o'clock. Possibly.